How powerful is Cox Fiber? Powerful enough to keep fans across the country in the action on the biggest game days of the year. Whether you're one of 65,000 fans at Allegiant Stadium or you're streaming the game at home with Cox Fiber from the company with America's fastest download speeds, whenever it matters most, Cox keeps you connected. Limited availability in select areas. Speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Cox terms and other restrictions may apply. Analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data. Fixed median download speeds. US Q3 2023.
Yeah.
Oh, a microphony.
And a phony at the mic.
Please hang on. Please. This is an official interruption of your local entertainment transmission.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show, starring Bob Lutz.
You may know less about me than anyone.
That would be terrific. That would be great, huh?
Terrific. That was terrific.
Jeff Lutz.
Well, that's what you're talking about. It's not what I'm talking about.
I mean, the only class in this act, and I'm here to tell you, this boy's soul is intact.
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
I heartily endorse this event or product.
Welcome back. Hour number 2, the Bob and Jeff Show, KFH Radio. Bob Lutz, Jeff Lutz. Later this evening, we got a couple coaches shows here, Terry Nooner and Paul Mills. You can hear those on KFH. Neither program going particularly well at the moment, but they're in their first year, so cut them some slack.
We'll
right?
give them a little time.
Are we still in the slack-cutting mode?
Some are, some aren't.
Why wouldn't you be?
Because it's been a while since Wichita State has approached, and I don't think anyone's expecting Final Fours and a whole bunch of Sweet 16s and 35-0. I don't think those are the expectations.
Next year is a telling year. Stark improvement has to happen, and it has to be noticeable, and it has to be real.
Can it be with a majority of this roster?
No.
I don't think so either.
No offense, not trying to offend anybody, but there needs to be a not an overhaul necessarily, but an upgrade, a tweak. They need to bring in some guys who can play.
And
not that they don't have guys who can play now. That's not my point. But they need more guys who can play. And it's not easy in this day and age. This isn't just snap your fingers and get it done.
It is not, but it also is, right?
No. Some people will snap their fingers and get it done. Others will snap their fingers and spin their wheels. That's the transfer portal,
right,
man.
But that you have the capability.
Who's going to want to come to Wichita State out of a transfer portal? People at lower conferences, right?
Right. But it's hard because
so Colby Rogers. We've seen the good and the bad of Colby Rogers, right? That's why he was at Siena. Okay? That's why Ronnie DeGray's here. That's why Bijan Cortez is here.
Or higher
schools. They weren't ready to play at those levels. The SEC and the Big 12.
But that's where Wichita State should be living more than lower guys going up, in my opinion.
Well, we'll see.
Because the guy who averages 18 at Stony Brook is going to get Power 5 love. And Wichita State is not going to be in his wheelhouse. You wouldn't think.
We'll see.
Like the guy
Jalen Reginald's been a nice get.
Like
out of the Missouri State University.
Yeah, they did not use him appropriately. It does not seem like. And that coaching
and
staff
Colby Rogers has been a good get too. He just can't be your main guy. He has to be your complementary scorer. There has to be another scorer. Xavier Bell's had a decent year this year. Came out of Drexel, been up and down, but he was pretty good yesterday. So there are players they just don't have that guy to build around.
That's correct, and they commit a lot of turnovers, and
they don't have a floor leader. We've established that. They don't have a true point guard who can take over the team and direct it.
It doesn't necessarily even need to be a point guard.
No, it needs to be a point guard. We like point guards here.
It just needs to be. I mean, Giannis plays point. LeBron plays point. Durant plays.
You're not going to get those kinds of
players. I'm not saying you
players.
need a freak player like that. I'm just saying you just need a player who can.
You need a ball handling point guard.
Set up the offense.
In my
run
opinion.
it.
In my opinion.
Steady you.
That's what you need.
Okay.
I don't know why that's a debate, but
It's not a debate. I'm just saying it doesn't necessarily have to come from the traditional point guard position.
KU loses at West Virginia. They've now dropped road games in Orlando and Morgantown. So where are they as they get ready to host a pretty good Cincinnati team tonight? You wouldn't maybe tell it by the record, but Cincinnati's not bad. Of course, any team in the Big 12 is not bad.
Well, Cincinnati's a team that's in their first year in the Big 12 and finding their footing and weren't exactly blowing the doors off the American Conference. But I like their coach, Wes Miller, came over from UNC Greensboro a few years ago. And I think that he has the chops to turn Cincinnati into
trying
something.
out for an ESPN job?
Well, I was,
what kind of?
because that's when Wichita State hired Isaac
Came over
Brown.
from UNC Greensboro in 19. I mean, we don't need the extra. Nobody's
I think
listening
that's
to you.
important context because that's the same year Wichita State hired Isaac Brown, and here was this hot coaching candidate who goes to Cincinnati. Cincinnati's now in the Big 12.
Cincinnati 2-3, 13-5 overall. So they're doing okay.
Now, when you see a Big 12 team that's 2-3, that's pretty good. That's 500 in the Big 12 is going to be good.
Well, if you can go 500 in the Big 12, you'll get to the tournament.
Right.
If you go 500 in the American, you'll be sitting at home.
You'll go to the CIT.
Right now they have one team. The American's a one-bid conference as we speak today.
No, it's not.
It is. Memphis is off the grid now.
Memphis.
They can get it back.
Memphis
but you
is
can't
in the
lose.
tournament.
No, they're not. They are not in the tournament.
I'm going to look at bracketology.
I am too. You know, you think you have all the answers. Meanwhile, I've been doing this for decades.
Good for you.
And I'm going to tell you right now, without having looked previously, that Memphis is in the tournament.
Yeah.
Are they?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm looking at the latest.
K-State's the last team in.
I'm looking at the latest bracketology, and right now Memphis is a 5 seed.
Yeah, that's far from being out.
Which this hasn't been updated since their 2 losses.
Okay. 2?
No, it hasn't. It was last updated on the 19th.
Have they lost 2 since then?
Yes. I'm pretty sure. Maybe 1.
So they'll be like a 7 now.
They're in, but boy. Florida Atlantic is, according to Joe Lunardi, a 6 seed. I believe that's the only 2. There's certainly no others that would rise to that level, are there?
No.
No, he's got one other American team in.
Charlotte?
Who would that be?
No.
North Texas,
Well,
a
good for them.
13 seed, according to Joe Lunardi.
Well, good. That's excellent.
What do you mean that's excellent?
Good for them.
Well, good for them, but
Charlotte's 4-1 in the league. Are they a threat? Probably not.
probably not yet. But you certainly want to keep an eye on them. North Texas lost the game in the conference to Charlotte, 56-44. That's not anything to write home about. Shockers are at home this week, Thursday, against East Carolina. You'd like to think they'd win that game.
You would think, but hasn't East Carolina had a win or two that?
And then they go head-to-head on Sunday with the Chiefs. They have SMU at 2 o'clock.
Yikes.
Boy, oh boy. Can we move that? I don't know.
Well,
how many will go to the basketball game?
Well, there are people who much prefer Wichita State
I understand
basketball.
that. How many of them are there, though?
I don't know.
That's my question. Not that I understand the Shockers have a very sound and hardcore group of fans, but you're talking about going head-to-head with the AFC Conference title game, and the Chiefs are involved.
No, I'm with you. That's tough. That's a tough draw.
So 2 home games this week for Wichita State. You've got the 6:30 start coming up Wednesday evening.
That's more palatable.
I like that. I like the 6:30 start. And then you've got the 2 o'clock start coming up Sunday.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. And
I bet the Shocker Athletic Department winced when they saw the Chiefs game time.
yeah, and you're not really going to be able to move. Maybe they're not
No,
going
you
to be able
can't
to
move it. TV, it's got a TV slot on ESPN2.
Yes.
They couldn't move that with all the moving equipment in the world. Couldn't move it.
Is that
By the way,
it's not a good slot.
I'm watching the Shocker game yesterday, right?
Right.
And we get toward the end of it. And I'm watching on ESPN Plus over the Lions. I mean, I'm watching the Shockers.
Understood.
Because I like to know what the Shockers are doing. And so with about a minute and a half left in the game, and they're still, it's within reach, I get a screen that says, your event has ended.
Really?
Your event has ended on my ESPN Plus screen. Did that happen to you?
I think no, it didn't. But I
Were
left.
you watching?
Yeah, I left with about 4 minutes to go.
Well, then you weren't.
And then listened to the end.
Well, then you didn't have. Where'd you go?
To work.
To work?
Yeah.
What'd you do at work yesterday?
I was doing all the online stuff.
For the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Yeah, good for you.
Did you see that
I don't want to.
We got a Facebook post that's got 7,300 likes as of a couple hours ago. Put a game story out immediately after the game finished. Just did a heck of a job.
You know what I liked in my day? When I wrote a story. That's what I liked.
I know, but I wrote a story.
Yeah,
It's
you're
a
fine.
running
You're doing
story.
a fantastic job. My point being, and I don't know who to go to with this. If this, and I think it happened to more people than me, imagine if the Shockers were really good, and that had been a game at Memphis where you got, number 5 and number 8 playing. Whatever, we can dream. And
Right.
I lose the game. What do? Who do I get? Here's the problem that old people
Did you get
are
out of
having,
the
and you don't
ESPN
care.
Plus and restart?
No. Here's the problem that people like you
Why
have
are you
with
pointing at me?
with those of us.
How disrespectful do you want to be?
Those of us who are boomers. You don't listen to us. You don't take our concerns seriously. Nobody wants to step up to help us. So we're there. I'm just sitting in my chair. Well, I guess we can't watch the end of this game because it's telling me my event has ended.
I don't know what to tell you.
You know when the event ends? When the buzzer goes off at the end of the game.
They must have had a time slot that they felt like they put that in a window. Once that window was
Well, that's
surpassed.
not going to work for me.
Oh, I'm not
So
trying to
Mike
make it work.
Oresco is retiring from the American. I don't know who they haven't hired a new commissioner. I almost considered getting on. We get emails from the American. I may send Tom Finamaster. Is that his name?
Don't know.
We get emails from him. Tom Finstermaker from the American.
Close enough.
Finstermaker, Finstermacher,
Finstermaster.
Buttermaker, whatever. Walter Matthau. I don't care who I talk to.
No, I get it.
I will. I'm going to send
What
him
was
an
that
email.
character's name?
I'm going to send him an email and say, Tom, yesterday I'm watching. I'm just going to go through it.
Really? You're going to do this?
Well, what do I do?
That's why you don't get taken seriously.
Do I just let it happen?
Yeah, I think so. You just let it go.
It happened with the KU game Saturday, but it came back after a couple minutes. Apparently, I don't know why, but my event had ended with that too. But it came back.
What mine says is that you've exceeded your amount of time on the app, and that's why mine stops.
How do you have a set amount of time
You
on
don't.
the app?
You don't. But that's what
Why
it says.
don't you want to call somebody?
Because I usually just restart it and it's okay.
Well, I don't.
Not saying
I
it's
can't
not
restart
annoying.
a TV.
You can. It's an app, right?
Well, as I press it, it's a streaming service.
Right. So I just use. I get out of it and restart, and it's fine.
What do you mean, get out of it?
I go back to my home screen on my Roku TV.
That's what I did, and then I went to it and said, your event has ended.
I don't know.
I'm not going to put up with that garbage.
It's tough.
It's unacceptable to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know why you're not more outraged for me.
Because there's not a lot of stuff that's just unacceptable. Like, okay, I didn't get to see the end of that game. Now, if it was a Cleveland Guardians game or something,
right,
yeah,
that's
it would
what
be,
I mean. That. So you're picking and choosing. What's unacceptable for you? Who cares? You're just an old man. But
Well,
if it's the Guardians playing one of their 160 meaningless
right,
games,
so I probably would
and in
just
the
go
ninth
on.
inning against Oakland, where they're down 9-1,
We open in Oakland.
you're terrible. The whole thing's terrible, and I can't believe you're not supporting me.
I'm supportive. I hope you get to the bottom of this and Mike Oresco and company take care of it for you.
We will take a break. Wow. Ryan Sandberg divulges that he's been diagnosed with prostate cancer. Ryan Sandberg, of course, a Hall of Famer. Tomorrow we'll get the announcement of the Baseball Hall of Famers. It's going to be a pretty big class, it looks like.
3 or 4.
When we come back, we're going to talk Atlanta pro athletes. That's our subject matter for our Bob and Jeff draft. We return after this.
How powerful is Cox Internet? Powerful enough to keep fans across the country in the action on the biggest game days of the year. Whether you're one of 65,000 fans at Allegiant Stadium or you're streaming the game at home with America's fastest download speeds powered by fiber. Whenever it matters most, Cox keeps you connected. Cox Internet is connected to the premises via coaxial connection. Speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Cox terms and other restrictions may apply. Analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data. Fixed median download speeds. US Q3 2023.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Yeah, I don't know what led to that. It was a weird deal.
Anybody worth watching?
Well, sure. I mean, if you wanted to see it. It's time for the Bob and Jeff draft. And here we go. The topic is Atlanta pro athletes. They have to have spent at least 5 years.
Yeah, we went 5.
In Atlanta on either I don't have anybody from the Flames, on either the Braves.
Who are the Flames?
Falcons. Didn't they have a hockey team in Atlanta called the Flames at one point?
They were the Thrashers in the NHL.
Something like that. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, there was the Flames before the Thrashers.
Whatever.
Back in the day. So the Falcons, Braves, Hawks will dominate the discussion.
Yeah, I didn't write any others down. Watch there be the best. Watch Wayne Gretzky. He played 5 years for the Flames.
All right, flip the coin. I'll call it.
What do you call?
Heads. Heads it is. I'm going to go with heads. I'm going to pick first.
No kidding.
Yeah, I am. No brainer. Hank Aaron.
Going to be hard to win now. I'll take Greg Maddux and Neon Dion.
Deion Sanders and Greg Maddux. I get a couple picks here, which I appreciate. I don't know if we'll pick another Falcon.
Might.
We might. I will pick Chipper Jones.
That hurts a little.
And John Smoltz. 3 baseball players so far.
That's correct. I will dig into my Hawks bag and take Bob Pettit.
There. You take the old guy.
And Dominique Wilkins.
Well, there you go. 2 Hawks come off the board.
Might not pick another Hawk.
I don't know who it would be, although there's one obvious one of the greats of all time. But he's an older guy, so you won't pick him.
I might, but I won't.
My next 2 picks are I'm going to go with a current player. Am I? I think I am. Ronald Acuna. the reigning MVP in the National League. And, boy, this gets tough now.
A little bit.
Might as well stay on the Hall of Fame train. Tom Glavine. I've picked 5. You've picked 4. You got 2 to pick here.
I'll take Michael Vick. Man, I want to take my guy. I'll just take him later. You won't take him. And I'll take Dale Murphy.
Not bad. My 2 picks at this juncture are... Do I stay on the Hall of Fame train?
I don't know. Might as well.
I might as well. Phil Niekro.
Nuxie.
And Julio Jones from the Falcons. I get a Falcon in there.
Yeah, why not?
That's my 7th pick. You've got 2 here, which will wrap it up for you.
I'll take Matt Ryan. Decent value at 7. And I'll take one of my top 4, 5 favorite NBA players just so I can have him. Joe Johnson. ISO Joe, they called him.
I got a feeling this one's going to be pretty easy for Max.
ISO Joe?
You've left me a guy that I think will go into the Hall of Fame. But what I don't know what percentage he's at right now for this year.
He's like at 60-ish.
One of the great center fielders to ever play the game, Andrew Jones. That's my 8th guy.
Yeah, I could have taken him, I guess, but I didn't.
Boy, I don't even think this. I'm not even sure this one's worthy of Twitter. This seems to be a blowout. Max, here are my 8.
It's a blowout.
Henry Aaron, Chipper Jones, John Smoltz, Ronald Acuna Jr., Tom Glavine, Phil Niekro, Julio Jones, and Andrew Jones. Jeff's 8 are Greg Maddox.
I'll say them. Greg Maddox, Deion Sanders, Bob Pettit, Dominique Wilkins, Michael Vick, Dale Murphy, Matt Ryan, and Joe Johnson. Winner. I mean, whoever got Hank Aaron was going to win, so who cares, really? Is Max even alive?
What do you think?
I'm alive. I'm stunned. I'm still stunned that he picked Bob Pettit.
Well, Bob Pettit's a good pick, just
I
not
didn't
that
say
high.
I mean,
nobody will know him.
the
on Twitter.
85-86 Hawks team. I mean, Antoine Carr, and Cliff Livingston, Kevin Willis. You got Bob Pettit?
Yeah, but you can't take those guys. Those
Tree
are
Rollins.
journeymen. No offense to them. Yeah, the other Hawk to take would have been Lou Hudson or Cliff Hagan.
Bob Pettit averaged 26 and 16
nobody's
for his
saying,
career.
Bob Pettit's one of the all-time greats. The problem I have with that one is, as you tell me all the time, nobody on Twitter will know him.
Actually, I have to amend that pick.
So,
Because he never played in Atlanta.
Who's your pick?
Okay, it doesn't matter.
Well, you know, Atlanta did have a team that went to Calgary, and John Glavine was drafted by the Kings too. Bob, he was a two-sport
Yeah, as a
star.
goaltender.
No, he was a forward. He was drafted as
Who
a
cares?
forward.
Max, who won?
Bob's list is better.
Do you want to replace Pettit?
You can replace Pettit.
Yeah, but I get Glavine then. That's who I would.
No.
We have to redo the
Bob
draft.
already has
Division is-
Glavine.
Right.
No, I get his pick because that's who I would have taken.
Sorry, you didn't do the homework necessary.
All right, I'll put Freddie Freeman in there
instead of Bob Pettit.
Yeah, Bob Pettit never played.
Why am I giving you that leeway?
He never played in Atlanta.
Well, then you shouldn't get a pick if you haven't done the research.
That's Bob's choice.
I
to
did
put
the
on Twitter.
research.
You were going to pick him.
You still go with my list, right, Max?
Yes, but it's your discretion to change his Pettit to on Twitter.
I mean, my goodness, Aaron, Chipper, Smoltzy.
Yeah, but I picked Greg Maddux and Deion Sanders.
Ronald Acuna.
You were going to get...
Who might be the best player in the game today.
You were going to get Aaron and either Maddux or Deion or Chipper.
Has Acuna played 5 years in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Oh, how good am I today? I'm on my game today. And I think you'll see in Twitter, this will be a 75 to 80% win for me.
Well, good luck. I won't see on Twitter.
Well, I don't know why you wouldn't. Why won't you check it? Do you check these things out?
I'll check it.
You had to know when you said today that you wanted to do Atlanta pro athletes that Aaron, as the first pick, was going to carry a lot of weight.
Right, and you got him, so there you go. I'm on a break from Twitter right now.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
You mean
I'm deactivated.
Uninstalled?
I've deactivated my account.
What caused that? Now I'm very curious.
It wasn't. It was just I just hate the way people talk to each other on there, and I'm sure I'm part of it. But just everybody wants to just get you. They want to catch you in something. They want to have the moral high ground. I'm tired of it.
Why can't we all just deactivate Twitter?
And I'm not saying I won't ever be back, but I need a break.
I would love to never be back. I don't know what the hell Twitter's given me. Other than I can check Cardinals news elsewhere, right?
Sure.
Or is there a way just to follow the Cardinals? And that's all. How do I get rid of the whole For You thing? Because none of that's really for me.
I told you to make a new account.
No. How do I get rid of that?
You don't.
Why is that forced upon me?
Because it's an
algorithm.
It's an algorithm.
What's for me?
An algorithm.
So I block every single thing I don't like. Can I just go through and block everything on For You?
Well, I've told you what I would do, but you're not going to listen.
You'd create a new account
and just follow Cardinals people. And
well, what if they put a For You thing up there?
Well, it'll be Cardinal stuff because that's all you've shown an interest in. Just someone you're not following.
What a malady Twitter is. Anybody have a suggestion for what to do about Twitter? We'd love to hear it. And Max will handle the about-to-be loaded phone lines.
Yes.
As we address the cons, mostly. And that's most of what it is. Very few pros. The cons of Twitter. We welcome your input. 869-1240. Who was the young lady who was on Saturday Night Live as our musical guest?
Renee Rapp.
I liked her.
I never heard of her, but she plays the Rachel McAdams character on Broadway.
Right.
In Mean Girls. I'm not sure if she's in the movie. I would assume she is.
I thought she was very talented.
She is.
So
the host, I don't know who that is.
Well, he's been in some movies.
Good grief. One note much?
Well, he's a good-looking guy.
Offered nothing.
Well, maybe you didn't feel right. I mean, he's a good-looking guy. Wouldn't you exploit that if you were a good-looking guy?
In every sketch? I don't know.
Well, I don't know. You've never had that issue.
That's
true.
They
had Saturday Night Live. Well, they did. Back when I was young, they'd have probably done similar things.
You were a marquee star if there ever was one.
Not saying I'm a marquee star, but quite attractive.
I must have missed that.
Well, what do you mean you missed it? You were not born until 1982.
I've seen your yearbooks. I've seen.
So you're saying I was not
just an average-looking guy?
Just an average-looking guy.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
I was just an average-looking guy.
Most people are.
Are you really?
Yeah.
You're going to hit me with that?
What
are you?
Average.
So you've always been average?
Pretty much.
I think there was a time there in high school where you were a pretty handsome guy.
Are you saying I lost it?
Well, I mean, high school.
It's a long time ago.
Is that not?
Just stunning.
Well, I mean, I'm showing you some pictures. That's not even that old of a picture. What about my father? Was he a handsome guy?
Yes, handsome devil.
No, I mean seriously.
Yes.
Well, I don't know where you're going with that.
Eminently attractive.
What about that?
No.
Really?
No, that's just some guy. trying to fit in.
What about that?
A little more brooding. I don't know what the anger was for.
Brooding's a good way to put it.
Nobody can see these pictures, by the way.
No, nobody can see them. But I'm just showing you some random photos.
Yes, your eyes sparkle.
What about that one?
That's what I said.
Decent-looking guy, right?
Sure.
Well, we'll ask my wife what she thinks as a little bit later.
You don't take a bad picture. I'm sure she thinks you're quite handsome.
What about that one?
The guy on the right looks great.
Yeah, you're just a little kid. I'm holding you in my arms. That's a good picture. I like looking at that from time to time. Anyway.
I was young once.
What about that?
Is that a newspaper?
No, that's my senior year. That they wouldn't put in the.
That's the one they didn't.
They wouldn't put in the yearbook.
That's the lost Bob Lutz yearbook photo.
It is.
That's impressive. I bet that could go for a lot of money in Derby.
Well, I don't know. I don't have any clue about that. All right, what about that one?
That's your first column headshot.
Yeah, what about it?
First, kind of look like me there.
Well, anyway, I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Yeah, it is what it is.
You've hurt my feelings.
Why?
Well, telling me I'm an average guy.
Most people are just average.
I don't want to be
guys.
average. Average never appealed. And I suppose you can settle for being average, and there's nothing wrong.
You think you're this like model looking?
No, of course not.
What would you rate yourself on?
7.5.
Really?
Back in those days.
Okay.
Let me just say this: I never had any problem with
You never had any problem. You had a lot of problems.
Well, what do you think your mother was attracted to?
I don't know.
Well, what do you think? If you had to,
I don't know. What was it?
If you had to guess, what do you think it was? Aren't people kind of attracted to looks first, and then you get to at that age? I mean, isn't that?
You gotta have confidence. You gotta.
Well, do you think she was attracted to my confidence?
No, you gotta have.
What do you think she was attracted to? I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I've had these conversations with her, but I don't remember any of them.
What'd she say?
I don't know. I don't know. Just
now, if you asked Debbie, my wife, she'd say, "Well, I was attracted to him on the radio. He liked listening to him."
Do you think there are any women that are just dying to email me right now?
No.
That's too bad.
Well, they know you're married.
Well, I'm just saying.
I hope they wouldn't email you.
I'm just saying.
You want emails?
No, I'm just saying, like, they don't know that I'm married. They're just
there's
listening.
not one woman out there who wouldn't know your marital status and would have any desire to reach out to you.
Doggone it.
Well, they know what kind of a wet blanket you are. Me, on the other hand, it's Ben, action. Here we go. All kinds of things happening.
Really?
Sure.
Can't
you tell?
Let's go to the Monarch and have an onion sandwich.
I never sound like that.
That was your date.
I never sound like that. And there's nothing wrong with the Monarch either.
The Monarch's great.
But anyway, when my current wife, Debbie, began reaching out to me.
An onion sandwich.
When she started reaching out to me, it was, the attraction she had was palpable.
Clearly. You thought she was 100, and I don't know what she thought you were.
Well, she could tell. She could tell by...
Just magnetism.
Right.
Just
there, you hit it.
Oozing out of you.
You hit it.
Yeah, I nailed it.
I mean, you know how many women still listen to this show.
No, I sure don't.
It's incredible.
Should I give them my email address?
Why are you saying that? It's so disrespectful of your
joke.
wife. But your jokes aren't funny. I keep trying to tell you
Yes,
this.
they are.
They're not.
Max.
But if you weren't married, maybe.
It's a joke.
You could have some fun with it.
It would be a joke either way. That's why it's okay.
At the time Debbie started emailing me, I was not married.
I get it.
And wasn't even in the...
Which statistically
wasn't ever
improbable.
thinking that I would get married again. Was resigned.
See, that was funny.
What?
You said I wasn't married. I said, which statistically for you was an anomaly.
No, I've spent most of my life not married.
Really?
until Debbie came along. Yeah, most of my 68 years have been as a single person.
Yeah, I know.
So it's I don't even know what I'm trying to say anymore.
I think we've lost it.
Here's what I am trying. Yeah, I just remembered.
Okay.
I never had a problem.
We're back
like
to this.
On a Saturday night, wonder if I can find a date. Never had that problem. You, on the other hand, have spent most of your Saturday nights at home reading a history book or some nonsense.
History is a good subject.
Well, no question about it. It's great. But
it's taken me far.
You were left, let's just say you were left wanting on most Saturday nights.
Maybe not.
Well, no, I know that.
Man, there's a lot you don't know.
Give me one thing I don't know.
Nah.
One thing.
Mm-mm.
You're telling me that you had dates on Saturday night living under my roof that I didn't know about?
Probably.
No, you didn't.
Sure I did.
I knew every move you made on a Saturday night.
No, you didn't.
Well, I absolutely did.
Okay, then it might have been a Thursday afternoon.
Oh, really?
Maybe.
Well, whatever it was, suddenly my back is starting to hurt.
That's not good.
I think it's from carrying this show.
Oh, is that right?
All right. Tomorrow, as I said on the show, we have Jesse Newell from the Kansas City Star, Chris Strathman, the girls basketball coach at McPherson. Jeff will have a game. Wednesday, of course, Mike Furchess will do some other things as well. And then Thursday and Friday, I will be off the show.
What?
And it'll be Jeff and Jason Duda.
Friday, I'm going to lunch or late lunch, dinner practically with Shannon Great.
Why?
Because I have time.
What time?
5:30.
Where are you going?
5:30. The place that has the Cuban, Metro Bistro.
Oh, way over on the east side.
Yeah. But I'll be east. I'll go to the bookstore and then go over to dinner.
He had a sandwich named after, or a pizza named after him at Bob and Luigi's in Andover.
That's impressive.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Of course, I had an entire lounge named after me out at Side Pockets back in the day.
I'd rather have
Did that bother you?
No. Why?
Didn't bother you.
Why would it?
You're a little jealous.
I'd rather have the sandwich, personally.
See, there it is.
That's jealousy.
Downplaying my accomplishments. Right on cue. Thanks for listening, everyone. We appreciate it. Thanks to Max Power back in the booth. We'll be here tomorrow. See you then.
How powerful is Cox Internet? Powerful enough to keep fans across the country in the action on the biggest game days of the year. Whether you're one of 65,000 fans at Allegiant Stadium or you're streaming the game at home with America's fastest download speeds powered by fiber. Whenever it matters most, Cox keeps you connected. Cox Internet is connected to the premises via coaxial connection. Speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Cox terms and other restrictions may apply. Analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data. Fixed median download speeds. US Q3 2023.